Welcome back, everyone. So one of my own family members the other day said to me, "Oh, you know what, Paul, why don't you just, give it all up, live out the rest of your life, your retirement in peace and quiet, because sometimes you come over as being a bit bitter." A bit bitter. You know what? Too right I'm bitter, and I'll tell you why I feel bitter. Probably like a lot of you watching this video. I'll give you some examples. I'm bitter that the country, the lovely, beautiful, wonderful country and culture that I grew up in and was brought up amongst has been betrayed, has been deserted and has been lost. I'm bitter that there are places now in my own country, including my place of birth, where I can no longer travel in safety without fear. There are places now that we cannot visit that we used to take for granted. Just the other day, there was a murder in London, a knife attack, mental health issues, at a market where my wife and I, many years ago when we first got married, used to visit every Sunday. It was a lovely place back then. I wouldn't go back there now if you paid me. So yeah, you're right, I am bitter. I'm bitter that our children have been betrayed. I'm bitter that their culture has been snatched from them, stolen from them. Their right to be who they are and who they want to be has been taken away. I'm bitter that their brains are being washed at school. I'm bitter that we're now told what we can and can't say, what we can and can't think. And I'm bitter that my family's culture and my religion, our religion, is now on the bottom rung of the ladder. I'm bitter that if we complain, we're called racist, fascist or Nazis. And I'm bitter that my family members, when they've needed a hospital bed, have not been able to get one. They've been left in the corridor. I'm bitter that when I was a victim of violent robbery, 3 occasions, I'm bitter that the police victim blamed and did everything they could to get out of doing any work, even when presented with clear-cut evidence of who was responsible, that they ignored it and they let the criminals get away with it. Yeah, I'm bitter. I'm bitter about a lot of things that are happening in this country. But probably the biggest reason why I'm feeling bitter right now is that nothing is more precious to me than my family. My daughters have grown up. They've got children of their own. They've given me wonderful grandchildren. And this is what makes me more bitter than anything. We've always been very close. I speak to my girls every day. I speak to my grandchildren every day. I FaceTime them every day. I make sure that everything is good in their lives every day. But for many reasons, including the fact that they no longer feel safe here in the UK, given the fact that earning a living here is now so hard, given the fact that they've got no chance of buying their own homes, given the fact that they're so disadvantaged in many ways, I'm losing both of them and all my grandchildren, or most of my grandchildren. In January, my youngest daughter will be going to live in Spain with her partner, and shortly after, my eldest daughter will be going to Abu Dhabi with her partner, and 2 more of my grandchildren. So my family has been split up. My family has been broken up by this and previous governments who have refused to listen to us, who have denied our votes, who have ignored our safety, who have taken us for fools, who have taken us for mugs, let's be honest, and treated us so badly. So am I bitter? Too right I am. I think a lot of us have got a lot to be bitter about. Many of you watching this now will have family and friends that are unable to get a hospital bed, an operation that they need, financial help, somewhere to live, social housing, you name it. They won't be able to get it because we are bottom of the list. Now, some people might say, well, that's just not true, Paul. You're exaggerating. Maybe. But that is, without a question, the perception amongst many of us Indigenous Brits. We feel that we're at the bottom of the ladder and that we don't matter anymore and everyone else does. And we are losing valuable business people every single day of the week as businesses close down and businessmen and women decide that enough is enough and they're gonna go and live somewhere else. That's what you get when you have years of treachery. And I'm not just gonna blame the Labour Party. I mean, they are the worst of the bunch, aren't they? I mean, they are the final nail in the coffin. But let's get it right. Let's get this right. Let's put the blame well and truly and firmly at the doorstep of the Conservatives, who have basically ignored the mandate that we gave them on 3 separate general elections. They really have betrayed us, the Conservative Party. And we must never forget this when it comes around to voting next time. We must never forget and never be fooled by Kemi Badenoch or Robert Jenrick or whoever. We must never be fooled again by the Conservatives and never forget their treachery. So am I bitter? Too right I'm bitter. Politicians, you've been responsible for breaking up my family. The most precious thing that a man can have. And the worst part of it all, the saddest part of it all, is that normally I would try and talk the girls out of doing something like that. Normally I would say, you know what, stick it out, you know, don't go, things will turn out okay, better the devil you know, and all that stuff. But in my heart, I don't blame them. In my heart, I feel they will be happier. They'll certainly be safer. There's no question about that. I mean, where do you think young girls are going to be safer these days? Spain, Abu Dhabi, or the UK? It's a no-brainer, right? It's a no-brainer. So as a dad, it's very difficult for me to accept. As a granddad, it's very difficult for me to come to terms with. But deep in my heart, I know it's best for them. And I have to look past the selfish side of it and come to terms with it. So when a family member of mine says, Paul, are you bitter? Too bloody right I'm bitter. Too bloody right I am. Just like a lot of people that are watching this video now, you'll be feeling bitter too. And angry. And the injustices that we face here now just keep getting worse and worse and worse. But we can only hope that things will improve. The election of Trump is going to be massive. We've got a Prime Minister. We inherited a £22 million black hole, Keir Starmer, who is without a doubt the most, well, let's be polite, disliked politician in living history, in living memory. I can't think of anyone that has disliked more than Keir Starmer. But we will be able to get rid of him one day. We will see the back of him one day. My God, what a day that will be to celebrate. Maybe then my girls can come home. I can only hope.